World 24H, Ukraine attacked the Russian oil pipeline to the EU. Pipeline operator Transneft said Ukrainian missiles struck near an oil pumping station connected to the Druzhba pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region. Speaking to TASS news agency, Igor Diman, a spokesman for the pipeline operator, said the missile fell near an oil pumping station connected to the Druzhba pipeline in Russia's Bryansk region on January 31. He noted that the strike attempt did not cause any casualties nor disrupt pipeline operations. According to an initial report by the MASH news agency, the attack was carried out using a Tokayu missile. The Novosibkovo oil pumping station lost power after the incident. A 20 m wide crater was created after missile attacks. President Putin sets out the tasks for the Russian army. Russian President Vladimir Putin said on February 1 that the task of the country's military is to prevent Ukraine from targeting Russia's border areas, according to RT Radio. Speaking at a government meeting on restoring damaged infrastructure in Russia's border regions with Ukraine, he said, "Of course, the first task of the military is to eliminate the possibility of an attack." President Putin pointed out that the border provinces of Belgorod, Bryansk, Kursk, and the Crimean Peninsula are the areas with heavily damaged buildings. Russia warns of the risk of armed clashes between nuclear powers. On February 1, at the plenary meeting of the Conference on Disarmament, the Russian delegation warned of the possibility of an armed clash between the nuclear powers due to the increased Western supply of weapons to Ukraine. According to the Russian delegation to the United Nations, with deeper involvement in the conflict in Ukraine through the supply of weapons, training of mercenaries, providing intelligence, the United States, Great Britain, France created real risks of an armed conflict between the nuclear powers. South Korea US joint Air Force drills, North Korea harshly warned. According to Yonhap news agency, on February 2, local time, South Korea's Ministry of National Defense said that the country and the United States held a joint Air Force exercise with the participation of B-1B strategic bombers and B-1B strategic bombers. The U.S. Air Force's F-22 and F-35B stealth fighters are intended to demonstrate Washington's will and ability against possible moves by North Korea. In response, North Korea's foreign ministry harshly criticized the drills, warning it would respond in proportion, according to the official KCNA news agency. The FBI searched the home of President Biden in Delaware. President Joe Biden's attorney said U.S. law enforcement began on February 1 to search the current president's beach home in Delaware State. This is the latest move in a campaign to track down improperly stored classified documents. According to the White House, Mr. Biden's problem was caused by an accidental mistake in storing documents from a decade ago when he was a deputy to former President Barack Obama. The son of Japanese Prime Minister Kishida was criticized for going shopping by public car. Mr. Shotaro Kishida, the eldest son and secretary of Japanese Prime Minister Fumio Kishida, is becoming the focus of public attention, after the press reported that he went shopping and sightseeing in Europe, Canada, and the United States by public transport, on a recent trip to accompany my father to those places. The U.S. opens an embassy in the Solomon Islands. Secretary of State Antony Blinken on February 1 announced the opening of the U.S. Embassy in Honiara in the Solomon Islands. The announcement by Secretary of State Antony Blinken said that the U.S. opened its embassy in the Solomon Islands less than a year after announcing this intention. The move affirms the U.S. commitment to the relationship with the Solomon Islands and the partnership between the two countries in the Indo-Pacific region. China sent a series of aircraft and warships close to the island of Taiwan. On February 1, Taiwan's defense agency, China, said that the Chinese military sent 34 aircraft and 9 warships close to the island in the past 24 hours. According to Taiwan's defense agency, China, 20 Chinese military aircraft and drones entered the island's air defense identification zone from the southwest. These include Y-8 anti-submarine aircraft, BZK-005 and BZK-007 drones, J-16, J-11 and J-10 multi-role fighter jets, as well as Su-30.